Welcome, gents. Have you ever wondered what really happens when someone tries to hurt a man who built himself from the ground up? A Sigma male is not shaped by comfort or approval. He's shaped by pressure, setbacks, silence, disappointments that would crush the average man. But instead of breaking, he absorbs the pain, studies it, and uses it to grow sharper. He is not the type to react with loud anger or beg for understanding. He simply observes, recalculates, and moves forward without looking back. That's the mistake most people make. They confuse his calm for weakness. They assume because he doesn't respond right away, they got away with it. But here's what they never see coming. His silence is actually a shift. It's the moment the connection begins to die, and once it's gone, there's no bringing it back. When you try to hurt a Sigma male, you don't just lose a person, you lose access to a mind that could see what others missed. A presence that gave without asking much in return. A loyalty that didn't come easy but ran deep. And once it's gone, all you're left with is the echo of your own mistake. This is not just about avoiding pain, it's about understanding who you are if you're a Sigma. You are rare, you are resilient, and most of all you are a quiet storm, the kind people only understand once it's too late. Let them underestimate you. That's when your power really begins. Let's get started, gents. Number one, he doesn't heal to be nice, he heals to never look back. Sigma males don't heal so they can send you a polite text one day saying, no hard feelings. They don't patch up wounds just to make things look tidy or give you the comfort of closure. They heal because they refuse to stay trapped in anything that made them smaller. When you hurt a Sigma male, he doesn't sit in that pain begging for understanding. He processes it like a strategist, quietly, carefully. He dissects every moment, not to replay it over and over, but to make sure it never has that kind of access to him again. Healing for him is not about peace with you. It's about peace within. He's not trying to be the bigger person so he can win the moral high ground. He's trying to build a life so elevated, the version of himself that tolerated the chaos would feel like a stranger. That's why when you come back, maybe weeks, months, or even years later, trying to spark a conversation or revive the bond, you'll notice something chilling. It's not bitterness, it's not anger, it's detachment. He doesn't care anymore, and not because he's numb, but because the person who once cared is gone. He outgrew the part of him that needed an explanation. You might think you still make sense to him, but you don't. Not because he forgot, but because he evolved. He's not healing to return to who he was. He's healing to erase everything that kept him stuck, including you. By the time you try to reconnect, he won't just be distant, he'll be unreachable, not physically, emotionally, spiritually. The man you once knew has moved so far forward that even your memory feels out of place in his new world. That's what healing looks like for a Sigma male. It's not sweet, it's not sentimental, it's surgical, it's final. Number two, your insult became his blueprint. When you tried to tear him down with words, you thought you were cracking his foundation. What you didn't know was that every insult you threw became part of his next design. Sigma males don't fold under judgment. They collect it, study it, and then use it as fuel. You called him cold. He made peace with silence. You said he'd never be enough. He doubled his standards and walked away from anything beneath them. You mocked his dreams. He used the echo of that doubt as background noise while building something even bigger. See, the Sigma male doesn't crumble when he's criticized. He recalibrates. He doesn't fight with words. He lets actions do all the explaining. While others defend themselves just to feel heard, he lets the progress speak. He doesn't need to prove you wrong in the moment. He'll let time do that. Let's be brutally honest. Your insult didn't wound him. It handed him a blueprint. And instead of throwing it away or complaining about how unfair you were, he took it back to the drawing board. He upgraded his vision, sharpened his purpose, and removed any emotional noise that came from needing to be understood. And when you finally look back, when you scroll through his life and realize how far he's gone, you'll feel the sting. Not because he sought revenge, but because he became something so extraordinary. Your words now sound laughable next to his results. He didn't clap back. He didn't post a rant. He just built in silence. You gave him criticism and he turned it into focus. You handed him a script filled with doubt and he rewrote it into something you no longer have access to. So the next time you think an insult can break someone like him, think again. That was never the end. It was the blueprint. Number three, you didn't destroy him, you exposed yourself. You thought you broke him. You thought your silence, your betrayal, your cheap shots were enough to leave him shattered. But here's the truth. You didn't crack anything. You just peeled back your own layers and showed him exactly who you were. Sigma males don't react the way most people expect. They don't explode. They don't beg for explanations. They don't drag your name through the mud. Instead, they watch, quietly, intently. And when you try to hurt them, what you end up doing is handing them a front row seat to your own emotional immaturity. They don't fall apart. They take notes. You see the damage you tried to inflict. It didn't break him, it revealed you, your need to manipulate, to control, to test limits without thinking of the consequences. All of that was never about him. It was about you, your wounds, your chaos, your inability to connect without tearing something down. And now that he sees you for who you really are, there's no going back. That's what stings the most. Not the fact that he walked away, but the fact that he did it without needing to prove anything. No dramatic exit. No final speech, just distance and silence, and in that silence, the weight of your own actions echoing back at you. What lingers isn't guilt because you lost him, it's the bitter awareness that someone once gave you genuine access to their mind and heart, and all you did was prove you weren't ready for it. He's not angry, he doesn't hate you, he simply sees you now, clearly. And once a Sigma male sees the truth behind your mask, you'll wish he never did. Because what hurts isn't being blocked or ignored, it's being understood and then permanently dismissed. Number 4, he's not built for pity. He's built for reinvention. When people try to belittle a Sigma male, they usually expect some kind of reaction. Maybe an outburst, maybe a breakdown, something loud. But that's where they always get it wrong. Sigma males don't operate on drama. They don't need sympathy. They don't need to prove anything with words. They just disappear, refine themselves in silence, and come back as someone so evolved you won't even recognize who they used to be. He's not the type to beg for understanding. He won't post his pain or call people for comfort. When you try to make him feel small, you're not breaking him. You're simply waking up a part of him that was built for reinvention. That insult you threw, he'll sit with it. Not emotionally, intellectually, he'll break it down, trace it to its source, and then use it as fuel to level up. Maybe you mocked his job. Maybe you doubted his potential. Maybe you walked away thinking he'd be stuck. But while you were focused on ego, he was focused on elevation, quietly fixing his flaws, shifting his habits, removing distractions. The result? A version of him that isn't bitter, just better. And when you see him again, he won't throw his growth in your face. He won't say a word, but you'll feel it. You'll see it in how he carries himself, how little he needs your presence, how calm he's become in places where he used to shrink. Sigma males don't come back to prove you wrong. They come back as a reminder that you were never qualified to define them in the first place. So if you tried to belittle him, thinking it would hold him down, know this: you didn't break him. You sparked a transformation. And now, you're just a distant voice in the story of how he became unstoppable. Number 5, you can't ruin what he's already rebuilt. You might think you're the storm that will finally knock him down, but here's what you don't know about a Sigma male. He's already been through worse, much worse. Long before you ever showed up, life already tried to crush him, and it did. At some point he broke, but he didn't stay broken. Sigma males don't walk around pretending to be perfect. They know pain. They've faced it in silence, rebuilt themselves from the ground up, and patched their wounds with truth, not denial. So when you try to bring chaos into his world, thinking you'll shake his foundation, you're already too late. The house you're trying to break was built after the fire. This is the man who had to pick up the pieces when nobody was watching. He rebuilt his mind, his habits, his sense of peace. He turned his lowest points into tools for growth. So if you think your betrayal or lies or manipulation will destroy him, you've misunderstood the kind of man you're dealing with. Trying to ruin a Sigma male is like trying to drown a man who lives in deep water. He's comfortable in the dark. He knows how to breathe through pressure. He didn't become strong by accident. It was the pain that shaped him, the isolation, the moments when everything fell apart and no one came to save him. So now when someone tries to damage him, he doesn't flinch. He's not scared of loss. He's not scared of heartbreak. He's already met those demons and made peace with them. You can't ruin what he rebuilt with bare hands and a clear mind. You can try, but in the end, the only thing that breaks is your illusion of power over him, because while others collapse under pressure, he becomes indestructible. Number 6, you thought you left him alone. You actually gave him power. Here's the twist most people never see coming. Leaving a Sigma male alone doesn't break him, it builds him. You might have thought your silence, your distance, or your absence would sting. Maybe you assumed he'd be stuck wondering where things went wrong, replaying every moment, hoping you'd come back with answers. But instead of falling apart, he went silent and sharpened. Solitude is not his weakness, it's his weapon. While others use company to feel whole, he uses time alone to become unstoppable. Give him space and he'll use it like an architect uses blueprints. He'll rebuild, he'll reflect, he'll remove every trace of dependency that once existed. And when he comes out on the other side, he's no longer the man you left. He's the man who doesn't need you anymore. You thought he'd spiral. Instead, he focused. You thought he'd crumble. Instead, he leveled up in silence. You thought he'd chase you, maybe even beg. But Sigma males don't chase what chooses to walk away. They accept it, grow from it, and evolve past it. Think about that. The distance you thought would hurt him actually made him more dangerous in the best way. His mind became sharper, his goals became louder, his emotional radar became more precise. And by the time you even begin to realize what you lost, he's already miles ahead, emotionally untouchable and mentally upgraded. So no, you didn't leave him broken. You handed him the one gift he never asks for, but always benefits from, time alone with his own thoughts. And that's where a Sigma male becomes his most powerful self. Number 7, hurting him is like striking iron. You just heat it up. Some people think pressure will make a Sigma male fold, that if you push him hard enough, lie to him enough, betray him deep enough, you'll finally see him break. But here's what they don't understand. This man was never made of glass. He's forged like iron. And the more you strike him, the hotter he gets. The hotter he gets, the stronger he becomes. Pain doesn't crush him. It wakes something up inside him. You want to see him crumble, but instead he becomes more focused, more silent, more determined. That heartbreak you handed him becomes fuel. That disappointment you served becomes direction. You thought you were applying pressure. What you really did was help sharpen a weapon that was already being refined. Ever seen how blacksmiths shape blades? They don't do it with kindness. They do it with fire, pressure, and strikes. It's violent, it's intense, but when it's done, the blade isn't weaker. It's indestructible. That's the Sigma male. Every trial, every betrayal, every loss just brings out more of who he really is. You tried to bruise him and he built calluses. You tried to confuse him and he found clarity. You thought you were pulling him apart, but you were only teaching him what to never allow again. And once that lesson is absorbed, he evolves. And this time with zero tolerance for the same nonsense. So the more you hurt him, the less access you have to him. He won't come back seeking answers. He'll come back sharper, colder, and completely focused on his purpose. By the time you realize he didn't break, it's already too late. You didn't ruin him. You made him fireproof. Because hurting a Sigma male doesn't make him weaker. It forges his next level. Number 8, you didn't just lose him. You lost access to his mind. When a Sigma male walks away, it's not just the relationship that ends, it's the loss of something far deeper, his mind. And if you've ever had access to it, you'll know exactly what that means. You didn't just lose a person who cared, you lost someone who could read between your words, see the truth behind your eyes, and challenge the way you see the world. That kind of connection doesn't just fade, it echoes. Sigma males are thinkers. They don't just listen to what you say, they hear what you don't. Their mind is wired to dig beneath the surface. Whether it's your late-night thoughts, your fears you never say out loud, or the dreams you casually mention, he locks them in. He doesn't just talk. He studies, he questions, he breaks down your patterns, not to control you, but to understand you. And once you've had a taste of that kind of attention, regular conversations with regular people will feel empty. Imagine having someone who never needed to be loud to be heard, who could challenge your thinking without making you feel small, who could sit in silence with you and still make you feel understood. Now imagine losing that. That's the real sting. That's the part most people never see coming. You thought you lost a boyfriend, a friend, a partner. But what you really lost was access to a mind that could have taken you places emotionally and intellectually that few ever reach. You'll find others who are fun, charming, maybe even sweet, but they won't think like him. They won't question your words in the same way. They won't challenge you without trying to change you, and eventually you'll feel it, the emptiness, not in your heart, but in your mind. Because once you've experienced the depth of a Sigma male's mind, everything else feels like small talk. Number 9. He doesn't weaponize the past, he analyzes it. Most people use the past like a weapon. They dig up old wounds to win arguments, to guilt others, or to rewrite the story so they look like the victim. But Sigma males move differently. They don't bring up the past to hurt you. They revisit it to understand themselves, not for closure, not for revenge, but for growth. When something ends or goes wrong, he doesn't get stuck in the loop of blame. He steps back and starts connecting the dots. What did he ignore? What did he allow too long? What patterns did he miss? That's how he uses pain, like a lesson plan. He's not looking for pity, he's looking for clarity. You might expect him to throw the past in your face when things fall apart, but he won't. He won't keep score, he won't bring up old texts or remind you of what he did for you. That's not his style. If anything, he keeps the past close to his chest like a notebook. Quietly studied, never thrown. And that's exactly what makes him so powerful. While others stay bitter, he gets better. While others recycle drama, he's upgrading his boundaries. He uses the past not to reopen the door, but to make sure he never walks through it again. Let's say you lied, betrayed him, or played mind games. Don't expect him to rage about it forever. Expect him to become smarter with who he lets in next. Expect him to change how he moves. Expect him to look at you one last time, not with anger, but with understanding. And then shut that chapter without a single ounce of noise. Sigma males don't punish people with the past. They evolve because of it. And that's the real sting. You don't get haunted by what he says. You get haunted by what he learned and how he'll never let you close enough to repeat it. Number 10, he's emotionally bulletproof, but remembers every shot. Sigma males might not show much when you try to hurt them, but don't mistake that silence for weakness. You may not get a reaction. No yelling, no tears, no dramatic scenes, just calm, controlled, unbothered. But behind that calm is someone who remembers everything. Not to hold a grudge, but to build his armor. He doesn't forget who fired the shots. He just doesn't waste time dodging them. He takes the hit, absorbs the lesson, and moves on, stronger, sharper, and harder to reach than before. That's what makes him dangerous in the best way possible. You'll think you got away with it, that he brushed it off. But what really happened is this. He took note. And when he rebuilds, he builds in silence. No warnings, no explanations, just boundaries. If you ever try to circle back, you'll notice something chilling. The access is gone, the warmth is gone. That part of him you once knew? Gone, because every painful word you thought he forgot. It went into the blueprint of the new version of him, not to seek revenge, but to ensure no one ever hits him that way again. Think of it like this. He's not made of glass, he's made of steel that remembers every crack. You may not see the damage, but he does. And the next time someone comes with the same energy, they'll find a man who's already built a wall where he used to have a door. That's how Sigma males move. Quiet strength, surgical memory. No emotional fireworks, just strategic evolution. So when you see him walking calmly past what once tore him apart, understand this, the pain didn't break him, it trained him. He may forgive, but he never forgets. And if you try to shoot again, you'll realize too late, he's already bulletproof. Number 11, his loyalty is surgical. Once severed, it's gone for good. Loyalty from a Sigma male isn't handed out lightly. It's precise, intentional, and deeply rooted. When he chooses to trust someone, it's not because he needs to, it's because he decided you were worth letting in. That kind of access doesn't come easy, but once you have it, you'll feel it. You'll feel the way he listens without judgment, supports without conditions, and protects you even when you're not around. But here's the part most people don't realize. His loyalty has sharp edges. It's not endless, it's not blind, it's not something you get to play with and expect to keep. Betray his trust and something switches off. Instantly, no yelling, no dramatic confrontation, just a clean emotional disconnection. Like a surgeon cutting out something that no longer belongs. He doesn't wait for you to explain yourself. He doesn't sit around wondering if he overreacted. He knows exactly what crossed the line, and once it does, the door closes without hesitation. And not just temporarily. That door isn't cracked open for reconciliation. It's locked, sealed, and gone, like it never existed. You might try to come back, you might say it was a mistake, but by then you're already talking to a man who feels nothing for the version of you that hurt him. Not hate, not resentment, just absence. That's the brutal truth. When a Sigma male's loyalty dies, it doesn't get reborn, it gets buried, deep. No return policy, no backtracking, no let's talk. You had his trust, you misused it. and now you're on the outside looking in, because his loyalty isn't emotional, it's surgical. Once cut, it's gone forever. Number 12, when he lets go, it's absolute. There's no pause button, no emotional limbo, no maybe we'll talk again later. The moment you cross a line with a Sigma male, something clicks inside him. Quietly, without drama or announcement, he detaches. Not the kind of detachment where he still checks your page or rereads your messages. No, this is clean, total, final. It's as if the switch that powered his connection to you gets flipped off, and there's no system reboot. Sigma males are wired differently. They don't hold grudges. They don't stalk your life in silence. They don't rehearse arguments in their heads or write out what they should have said. They simply let go, and when they do, it's as if you never existed. Here's the thing. Most people think emotional detachment is something you work at over time. You talk to friends, journal, cry, reflect. But for a Sigma male, it happens instantly the moment he realizes that keeping you in his life is costing him his peace. That's the line. Once it's crossed, he doesn't plead or protest. He exits emotionally with surgical precision. You might try to get back in. You might throw out, "I miss you," or "let's talk." Or even, "I wasn't thinking clearly," but none of it will land, because you're not talking to the same version of him anymore. You're trying to reach someone who no longer feels tied to you in any way. To the outside world, it might look cold, but to him, it's self-respect. It's protection. He knows what it means to be emotionally invested in someone who ends up using that connection to twist the knife. So once he sees the pattern, he pulls the plug. No delays, no soft landings. He doesn't do halfway healing. He doesn't do second chances disguised as apologies. When he lets go, it's done, completely. In final words, you can hit a Sigma with pain, but all you'll ever break is your own illusion of control. If you're a Sigma male, understand this. Your silence is not weakness. Your solitude is not loneliness. And your refusal to fight petty battles does not make you passive. It makes you dangerous in a way most people will never understand. The truth is, people will try you. They will misunderstand you. Some will even try to hurt you because your calm presence, your emotional discipline, and your self-built strength make them uncomfortable. But here's the twist. What they don't realize is that the pain they throw at you is like fuel. You don't absorb it, you transform it. You don't carry bitterness, you extract lessons. You don't collapse, you reshape. What makes you a Sigma male is not just how you think, it's how you move forward. Quietly, precisely, without seeking revenge or approval. You let life show them what you already knew. You let time reveal the difference between noise and value. That's power. They thought hurting you would give them control. Instead, they handed you clarity. They handed you a mirror that reflected their own fears and flaws. And in the end, while they're stuck replaying the fallout, you've already moved on, built higher and disconnected for good. So if you're ever doubting yourself, don't. The fact that they tried to tear you down means they saw something solid, something they couldn't manipulate, something real. And that's exactly what you are, real, sharp, unshakable. You are not here to be liked. You're here to live on your own terms. And the moment someone tries to weaponize your heart, they end up handing you another tool for your evolution. Stay focused, stay grounded, and most of all, stay unbothered. Because in the end, the storm they tried to drag you into becomes the wind behind your next move. Thank you for watching, gents, and God bless you.